did you set up your natural dressing company with no marketing budget?
I had no cash and I was working a full-time job.
And that's a lot of stock. Where did you get the budget from?
Who was your first hire?
You know if you meet someone, they've got it.
Would you ever white label?
Hustle, don't hassle.
Are you on TikTok yet?
We have a story with TikTok. So
Tell us the story. Welcome back, guys, to another Digital Cheesecake podcast. We've got a fantastic guest. We've got Tessa Reid from All Dressed Up, so welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to the podcast
Best
today.
intro guy you are.
I know. I think how many times? 70 times I've probably done an intro now.
We just
maybe
counted.
half, 50.
That still felt
love,
quite
mate.
enthusiastic.
I have to start it off with enthusiasm, so the same energy.
Because we are excited.
Carry it
We
on
are
with the
excited.
podcast.
So, thanks for coming. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
So I guess the first question that we wanted to ask you is, how did you set up your natural dressing company with no marketing budget?
Yeah, so at the very beginning, I had no cash and I was working a full-time job. So it was very much like a side hustle.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's what people do a lot, isn't it?
So it worked really well because I guess I was starting from nothing, so I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So we just did it all on Instagram to begin with.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
like the whole brand,
Organic
like
growth.
what
How
logo.
many years ago was this?
This was 18 months ago.
Oh, wow.
that's not long
so,
at all.
Yeah, it was quite.
I
It's
thought
all
she said
been
80.
quite.
I was like, well, 18.
Specific.
That's quick.
So start off with Insta.
Yeah, Christmas
Yeah.
before last.
Cool.
And I was just like, I feel like there's an opportunity here. There's a whole story kind of how it came about.
Yeah.
But once I sort of was like, I'm going to do it, we then used Instagram as a platform, which is obviously completely free, to just say what logo do you like, what name do you like, what colours do you like. So I think the
Cool.
brand
Nice.
was built with quite a strong community because
Nice.
people felt really invested in like, oh, which
Yeah,
one's she
yeah.
going to go
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
And so that was all completely free.
That's really cool.
And then we launched at Christmas, which was kind of key stocking filler time of year.
Yeah.
So we sold like 350 bottles in the first 2 weeks because it was Christmas.
Yeah.
And that was just through friends and family via Instagram. And then kind of it
Nice.
snowballed from there. So that was all done with pretty much next to
That's
no
really good,
cash.
though.
Yeah.
So pre-launch, you built the community
I
up
love
before
that.
launching.
Yeah.
That's what you want is organic growth.
Yeah.
It was
Test
just,
it out.
it was really nice because then you had people who were like really cheering you on
Yeah.
from the beginning. And I
Love
think
it.
when you're doing something which is so out of your comfort zone, when you have to put your face on camera and all that kind of thing, you can't, like, I'm sure there'd be a million people who are like, oh God, that's cringe.
Yeah.
But actually I feel like as a brand now, we have a lot of like cheerleaders who are like, oh, I love All Dressed Up because I voted on that logo 18
I
months
like
ago.
that, yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that would made a massive difference.
What sort of content were you putting out from the beginning, apart from, what would you...
I mean, it was
Yeah,
it was
especially when the product
terrible.
wasn't there.
Was it?
I think at the time you're like, oh,
But you were
I've
doing it,
just,
which is
I've
good.
just
Yeah.
discovered
Yeah.
Canva, so I was
Oh,
like, this
nice.
is amazing.
Yeah.
Canva's the best though for
we
people
love
starting
Canva.
businesses.
But
Yeah.
it was great to kind of just like get something out there. So it was a lot of like polls, which I
Okay.
think was very
Yeah.
easy for people to react like to.
Yeah.
At the beginning, and still now we do a lot of like recipe-led content to try and get people
Nice.
to kind of educate
Yes.
and inspire people to use salad dressing more than just a salad leaf.
I think I saw that actually on quite a lot recently. You put a lot of recipe, making food. I mean, people love those type of videos, don't they?
Well, hopefully it just gives them like an idea of how versatile they can be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a lot of that kind of content. I think like all the behind the scenes stuff, kind of like starting
Yeah.
out, as you say, with no budget, no team, doing it alongside a full-time
Yeah.
job. I think people kind of related to that at the beginning.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's kind of what we did at the beginning, and then it's just sort of grown from there.
Then how did you build it
Nice.
whilst working in a full-time job? And what
So
were you
that-
doing in your full-time job
So I
as
was
well?
working as a development chef at a
Cool.
recipe subscription box called Simply Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
I've
So
seen that,
it
yeah.
was quite hectic. Like at the beginning, I was very much like coming back from work, and then I
Yeah.
became quite obsessed with it quite quickly.
Yeah.
So it never really felt like work, and I'm sure a lot of like founders will say the same. Like when you're doing something you're so excited about, all you want to do in
Yeah,
your
that's the
free
nice
time
part.
is that.
Yeah.
So I would definitely
Yeah.
say like my social life went a bit outside of like the window. People
What,
would
on pause for a bit?
Yeah,
went on
it
pause
does,
for a
yeah.
bit, but
Yeah.
but at the weekend I was really happy to go to
Yeah.
like a farmer's market and like speak to people about how they'd set up their businesses,
Cool.
or like develop the dressings and
Did you ever
get
do a
people to try
market
them.
part? Did you ever do the markets?
No, we didn't really. I mean, I went to quite a few to see what was there, but I think I always had like retail as the focus.
Yeah,
and
because you
I
do
think
see some people in the markets that are still there year
Yeah.
after year. And I'm
I think
like,
Innocent Smoothies started off that way.
they did. 'Cause
they?
they
Yeah,
had
and
two
Covent Garden
bins,
soups.
and
Yeah.
they said like, if you think we should quit our
Yes,
jobs, go in the
yes.
right bin. If you don't, go
I
in the
love
left
that
bin.
idea.
It's such a good
Oh,
story.
yeah, yeah. I
That
like
is
that
But
idea.
I
Really
just
like
thought
it. Yeah, I love
I
that.
need to use the weekends wisely, and farmers markets didn't really feel like the best place to use my time.
Why was that? Just in
Agreed.
case anyone else is listening.
No, more just because I think there was so much to do at the beginning, like build the brand, develop the recipes, find a manufacturer,
That's what I
like
think people should
if
do
it went
first.
well.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I was like, I've only got 2 days essentially.
Just
So
wanted
if
to
I
nail the
spend
recipes. Yeah.
a whole day at a farmer's market,
Yeah.
Social
fair
media is a
enough.
great
It's-
way to do it then, instead of being at the market. Like, I agree.
Yeah.
I
But
think
Innocent Smoothies was 15, 20 years ago. So yeah.
and I think it's a great way to do it, but it just means you're only getting a very small percentage of feedback rather than actually quite
Put
wide
your money
online.
towards digital, and then you can actually get probably more reach. And
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, lots
Get all
of
the
feedback.
data.
Yes.
We love data.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then what happened from there? Like, how did you sort of expand it out of Instagram, essentially?
So that Christmas, the Christmas before lunch, when we sold about 350, then I was like, I think we're really onto something here.
Okay,
We
nice.
did then a big survey to everyone who'd bought it and said, would you buy it again? What did you like
all
about
about the
it?
customer
What did
data.
you
They think
not?
it's so good.
All about the
Yeah.
data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the feedback was genuinely really positive. I mean, people were like, the branding doesn't look premium enough for the price point. So that was kind of an instant, we need to fix that. But everyone said the flavors are really good. Like, we love the idea, we love the bottle, we love the story. And so then I guess from there, I was like, let's try and get it into some farm shops. So I went to my local coffee shop, and I can remember him being like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And me coming home and literally being like,
Yes.
we've got a Tesco
Yeah.
listing.
Oh,
And thinking that
nice.
was so exciting. And then it just kind of there went from small farm shops to bigger farm shops. So like places like Bailey and Sage that have got sort
Yeah,
of
cool.
Yeah.
10.
Yes. Maybe that's where I've
They-
seen it.
We've seen it. Bailey
Yeah,
Sage.
must
time,
have been.
buy it,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
They were like
yeah.
our first, I guess, like big listing.
Yeah.
And then the Whole Foods like buyer is like typically really hard to get hold of. I'd worked in food and
Right.
drink before, and
Are they UK based or US
they're
based?
US, but they're
Yeah.
also in the UK.
Oh.
Yeah. Love Whole
And
Foods.
I just managed to get the buyer's email, sent her an email. You never expect a reply. And I was really lucky. She replied within like 10 minutes being like,
That's really good.
these look great. Can you
Some
send me
people
some?
need to chase all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so
and then
cool.
that door opened. And then from
Yeah.
there, we kind of just
Awesome.
grew.
Yeah.
So
What was like the minimum order quantity for Whole Foods?
I think at the beginning they were ordering like 120 cases. There's like 6 per case, so it was
Six.
like quite good
Okay.
volumes. And then it's grown kind of.
Ocado must be
organically.
bigger.
Ocado is bigger,
Yeah.
So they get bigger, and then it gets
Yeah.
a bit like scarier as they
Yeah.
get bigger.
Yeah.
But I think because we started really small, and even though the business I feel is growing quite quickly, we've always like built the foundations quite like early. So it
Yeah.
was very much like landing how to make it work with one customer online, and then like your first farm shop, and then Bain and Sage, and then Whole Foods, and then Ocado. So I think although you're learning really quickly, it's not like we went from like here to here overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it has been quite a consistent journey.
Yeah, or
How
you
did you
didn't just
deal
do it all the same time type thing, because that would also be super overwhelming, I assume.
Yeah, and a lot in terms of like managing the cash flow and all stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
okay.
that's
How did
been
you deal with the budget side? Like, let's say you've got to put them in the store, and that's a lot of stock. Where did you get the budget from?
So I put some of my own savings in at the beginning, and then the business just washed its face in the first year.
Great.
So we weren't able to put anything into like marketing. It was purely like anything that we made would go back into the
Back
business,
into the
and then
business.
I'd put some of my savings in. And then earlier this year, I raised through SEIS, and that enabled me to go full time.
Was it hard to raise?
Do you know what? I really enjoyed the raise.
Oh, cool.
Everyone had said to me, the raise is going to be awful. Like, it's
Yeah.
so hard to raise money. And don't get me wrong, it is. But I think when you're pitching something that you're so excited about,
Yeah.
you just need one person to like believe in you. And I was lucky that I had one person really early on who introduced me to someone, and then it kind of there was like a
Nice.
domino effect. And I almost think raising investment is a bit like dating. Like, you know really early if you're like gelling, and if you're not,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
probably on
You
both
know
sides.
straight
Like,
away.
probably not
Yeah.
right for me either. So
Yeah,
there was
got
one
you.
guy who I spoke to, and I was like, oh no, that was not good. And I think he felt the same way.
Yeah.
But everyone
But
else,
that's okay though.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay.
It is
Yeah.
okay.
It's
It
got
is
to be
okay, yeah.
the right fit for both sides. You
Yeah,
know, they're going to
100%.
put
And
their
they've got to
money
back
behind you. And
Yeah.
he was the only one who didn't invest, who we spoke to. So I quite enjoyed it. I mean, by the end of it, I was like, I'd really like the money to land. I was at
Yeah.
a friend's wedding, and she was walking up the aisle, and I was like refreshing Mom's zone. I was like, come in.
Congrats. Yeah.
But
How long did that process take?
It took about 4 months.
Yeah.
So
That's actually
from
pretty
start
good.
to
Yeah, I was
Starting
going
finish.
to
and then
say that's
getting the money in
pretty
the bank.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
very quick, I feel.
Yeah, it was. I was lucky that I had a real focus in mind of what kind of investor I wanted. So I
Okay,
wanted
fine. Yeah.
an investor who had food and drink specific experience, so that they could then add value
Nice.
to the business.
Yeah.
And there's about 10 of them, so they've come in and
So you got 10
okay.
investors.
yeah,
Nice.
about 10.
And did you have? You don't have to answer this, but do you have an idea in mind of what percentage you wanted to give, or
Yeah, I
did
did.
they influence it based on the conversations?
I think
or?
my dad was very much like, Tess, don't give it all away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that was
gotta
really
have someone in
good.
your corner like
You've
that.
got to have someone who's just quite grounded, who's like, I know it's really exciting that like people would want to invest.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
you've got something that's really
Yeah.
exciting. So I guess, I did have an idea about how much I wanted to give away, and I haven't given away very much.
That's good.
And then, I guess as we grow, we might have to raise again. But you are then conscious that that equity is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how often are you giving them an update? Every month? Or
I do it every quarter.
every quarter?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then some are really involved in like the day to day. So like one of them I
Yeah.
speak to all day,
Oh, wow,
and then
that's
some of
good.
them I
Wow.
never speak to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it depends like how involved they are. But typically once a quarter feels like enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
a time where they were like, all at the top of my WhatsApp, and I was like, I feel like
Oh, you have a
this is
WhatsApp
such
chat?
No, I don't. It's just they
just,
happen
like,
to all be at the
separate, like,
top
all
of
Yeah,
the
but that's
chat.
where
Separate
they'd
goals.
be, man. I'd be
Yeah.
there.
And
That's-
so
yeah.
I was like, maybe
Open
we
the
could just get
floodgates.
them down a bit.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
they're all really nice, to be fair.
They're pretty
At
good.
the moment.
And then when you were sort of trying to grow the brand, did you join any communities, or did you get any like mentors or anything like that?
Yeah, I joined as much as I could, really.
Okay.
So there's a really great platform called Bread and Jam. And
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Heard of
Um,
that. Yeah.
so they do really good events. So they do kind of a startup summit event,
Nice.
which is sort of loads of great speakers from other brands, and they
Cool.
talk about all the foundations you need to know. And then
that's
they have
good.
a festival in the summer, which is similar but on a much
Yeah.
bigger scale. So you have people
Wow.
from like the founder of like Wild to
Oh, yeah.
nice.
the person who sold Grenade, and then they kind of
Oh.
share
That's
all
cool.
of
Jack
their
loves
grenades, yeah.
stories.
Wow.
And so you just sit there for like 2 days, like taking notes, like vigorously.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Where do
that
they do
is
that?
really cool.
They do it at the Barbican,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah,
a
like the
really great
Barbican.
event, and it's all of the like startup challenger brands. So there's like
Nice.
hundreds of other founders and people who work
Yeah.
in food.
Yeah.
So that's really good because you get to like meet people in person, and
Yeah.
you also get to pitch to buyers. So they bring in
Hey,
loads of
that's good.
buyers from
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
different retailers, so that's really good. Then there's By Women Built, which is a really amazing community, which is all female
Yeah,
founders.
I
think
do
we've
know
heard
that.
of that.
They
Please
are
join
awesome
these.
and just really cool people. And it's, I mean, I don't go to loads of their events, but when
Yeah.
you do, you're like, really, you come out like
Yeah.
properly buzzed. 'cause
Proper
you're like,
pumped.
I need
Yeah,
to do
proper
them.
pumped,
So
yeah.
many
Yeah.
groups in London. I need to do that one actually.
7
Yeah,
o'clock on a
that sounds
Friday of
very
the week
good.
and I can't do anything.
Yeah. And then there's loads of WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
There are other
Yeah.
brands
WhatsApp
that I
groups are
really like
insane.
looked up to and reached out to their founders. And
Oh, that's good. That's a good
occasionally
idea, yeah.
you know, meet them for a coffee and then
Nice.
you meet someone else. So I guess food and drink, as you guys will know, it's such a friendly
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
nice.
like you're, and if anyone ever reaches out to me, like generally I'd be like, oh well, I want to help if I can. Like I'm right
Yeah.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
but I really appreciated the people who helped me at the beginning. So
Yeah.
I feel like everyone wants everyone to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're like complete direct competitors, then
There's some
Maybe
intense
not.
ones out there that
Yeah.
don't want you to
But-
succeed, and you're like, stay away from them.
but
I've
did
seen
you
them.
feel that
more
most
in tech, to be
people-
honest, I reckon, than anything. But
Maybe tech, but did you feel
Yeah.
that people were very kind of open and like happy to help? Because I think majority, we always talk about that most people in communities want to help.
Most people
like,
want to help each other.
Everyone wants to help
Who are
each
in the
other.
same
Yeah.
boat.
Most people, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah, I
find
would
that?
say literally 99% of people want to help. Some
pretty
people
good.
are really busy naturally.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they'll
which
be
makes
like,
sense.
I'm really busy and I can't meet you for a coffee, but I'll
So
send you a
nice.
voice note.
The community
And
is a key
then
part of
a voice
community.
note's almost more helpful because then you can just kind of go back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think, you know, obviously you're going to get people who don't reply,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I would say on the whole, then people are definitely happy to help.
That's good because that's encouraging people to do it as well. Because a lot of people will think, I don't want to even start because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, the
everyone will
community
be
is the best
against
part
me.
and the most
yeah.
rewarding, I think, when you start,
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. And then,
Yeah.
so what was the next step then? Who was your first hire?
So I've just hired our first hire,
Oh,
which is so
congrats.
exciting.
Yeah.
So she's called Maya, and she approached me must have been about 4 or 5 months ago. It was
Yeah.
just before I was about to go full time. She lived around the corner, and
Yeah.
she was like, I really want to get into food. She just graduated from Bristol, and she was like, I don't really know what I want
Love
to
the go-getters.
do,
Yeah.
but I want to go and like get
What
in
do they have?
food.
Grit.
Grit. Yes.
And I
had
don't
it.
know what
I was
it
like,
is,
what was
but
it?
you know if you
Yeah.
meet someone, they've got it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
or they've got grit.
Yes,
And
100%,
as
yeah.
soon as I met Maya, I was like, whatever it is, she's got it.
Yeah,
and
nice.
that.
she really reminded me of me at like 22.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was like fresh out of uni, had all these ideas, didn't really know where to put my energy.
Cool.
But I knew I wanted to get into food. And I was like, well, you know, I'm starting this business. I have no idea how it's going to go. I was like, we haven't even got an office. I've never managed
Can't
anyone.
believe you've done this on your own
And
since then.
I said, why don't
So
you come
good.
and like join? But I
Yeah.
said, I just want to be completely transparent. This might be like really not what you want. You could go
Yeah.
and work for like a Pip and Nut, like really established,
Yeah.
amazing culture, office, like you'll have a stable job. And she was like, no, I really, really love what you're doing. I want to help.
I love that you were so raw with it as
I
well.
did try and
just
be really honest
yeah.
because I've been sold
Yeah.
the dream before and like got there and been like, right, this is
Yeah,
not
that's the
what I
worst with the
expected.
dream. Yeah.
And so she started, and from the moment she started, we also had another guy called Henry who is based in Spain, but he
Yeah.
joined at the same time. So we're very much like the three of us. And
Three
as soon
amigos.
as she started, we were just like, well, she's great. And
Oh,
so,
good.
and
Yeah.
we've offered her a full-time job like
Nice.
before her end of probation. So
Cool.
super excited
Well done,
to
Mia.
have her.
So what does she do? What's her job day to day?
She is kind of a brand and marketing manager.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so she
nice.
does all of our sampling campaigns.
Yeah.
She does all of our social media.
Cool.
She does all of our kind of like branding decisions, reached out to all of our partnerships. She's just like a thoroughly good egg.
Yeah.
Oh, so
and,
nice.
a nice person to have around and goes out like above and beyond to.
Yeah, that's
like,
what you want.
We love
to
that. We
live
always say
and breathe the
ABA in
brand.
our team.
She
above
said
and
the
beyond.
other
We
day,
love
she
it.
was like, I went to sleep dreaming about it. And I was like, that's when you know.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because she feels on the journey with you as well, which
Yeah,
I think
she
is a
feels part of
massive,
it.
you know,
It's
plus,
awesome. But it's
isn't it?
also all these some of these grads that are coming out like just so hungry to start in businesses. Great. We love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
It's amazing. But those
All day,
guys,
every
like, I
day.
can't even imagine like when I was doing that. Like you first get out there, you email a company at the start, the owner says yes, then you're growing something. I mean, it's just so amazing.
But how
to
did
get
she
people
know
like
about
that.
you? Did she know because you live near each other, or did she see? Had she seen
was
you?
working in a local farm shop,
Okay.
and she really liked the brand because the All Dressed Up had been listed in the farm shop.
Ah,
So
okay.
she just was like, I'm going to reach out to all my favorite brands and see if I
Smart.
can get some
That's
career
cool.
advice.
I
So
love
clever.
that.
I feel like I wanna hire
Very,
her.
very
No,
good.
no, I can't. She's off limits.
She's ours.
Yeah.
We've all got those.
But you've got to do it as a graduate nowadays.
I think
It's so
brilliant
hard to get a
idea.
job.
So hard to get a
So
job.
good.
You've got to do it.
And I
Yeah.
think I did it at the beginning. So I graduated and I remember reaching out to the Coconut
Yeah.
Collaborative and was
Yes.
like, I really love your
Cool.
brand.
Yeah.
And then I started as an intern. So then it
Oh,
was kind of
nice.
a
Yeah.
similar
Good idea, yeah.
journey.
Love that. People need to do that more often.
Yeah, so
I mean, they
good.
do.
That's such good advice, I think, for anyone starting out as well. Because, yeah, it's brilliant. Look at the brands, go for them.
Yeah, choose your top
Like that.
favorites. Yeah.
And I think you meet the brand and then you probably meet a few and you get a feel for which one's the right fit for you.
Yeah.
So where are you spending the investment now you've got it?
Good question. So we're spending it on a few different things. We're trying to not like blow it. I think we want it to
Yeah,
last like a
smart.
decent amount of time. I don't want
Yeah.
to just keep raising. But a lot of it is going into kind of like trade shows.
Yeah.
It's obviously going a bit into people because before we had no people costs. We've just taken on an office space, which is very exciting.
Nice.
Where's that?
In Hammersmith.
Oh,
which
we
is
like
great.
Hammersmith. Yeah.
And then we're spending a bit on like paid ads. We've now brought someone in to do that who's a freelancer.
Good idea.
What other bits are we spending money on? We're spending it on a bit of marketing.
Yeah.
Sort of like brochures for like wholesalers, things like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But we're trying to, I guess, like make as much noise as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whilst being very much a startup and
Yeah.
not just like splashing the cash for the sake of it. And I think it goes back to the very beginning of not really having very much at the beginning and it growing organically. And so now, even though we've got it, I'm very sort of protective maybe isn't the right word, but I'm mindful that we don't necessarily need to spend
You want a
lot
good
to see the
ROI.
results.
You want a
Yeah.
high
Yeah.
ROI.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if something's not working, I'll just be like, right, we need to like reshift and focus because I'm not just spending that just because we now have it.
Yeah.
We love this channel, but are you on TikTok yet?
We have a story with TikTok. So
Yeah,
Tell us the
okay.
story.
we've tried to be on TikTok for ages. I'm probably sounding like my mum, but I just don't really understand how to make it work. My
Yeah.
cousins are both like massive influencers.
It's got to be a
And
specific
they-
TikTok person. It's hard.
They
Yeah.
are just so amazing on it. And
Yeah, but
if I
it's
get
their
my
thing, right?
cousin on the camera, TikTok love her. Get me on the camera, they're like, no,
Yeah,
definitely
but you're
not
a
her.
founder, right? You shouldn't be a TikTok expert.
Well, I
which is
guess
what
that's
everyone's
it.
trying
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, and that's where we've just like landed on now as of yesterday.
Yeah.
We spoke to somebody who just purely does TikTok.
Correct.
And
Ah.
husband and wife duo team.
Oh, how
and
good.
they love it. And I was like, well, if you guys love it, there you go.
Yeah, everyone wants to be able to
so
hand it over
Yeah.
if you can.
It's so unknown, I guess, to so many until
Yeah.
you get it. And then if you get it, it seems
It's
to
a
be
good
the
space
easiest
for
thing
you
in the
guys, though,
world. But I
definitely.
think it would
Yeah.
be a good sort of like impulse buy, and there's so many like fun
Yeah.
recipes you can do with it. So
Definitely
fingers
the
crossed,
recipe
TikTok
stuff.
will.
Nice.
But
You'll be fine, but the key thing is we always say give
Yeah.
it to someone who does TikTok.
Yeah.
Give people the
Who knows?
specific roles because every founder tries to do social media themselves. And
Yeah.
it's so hard.
it is really
It also
hard.
just it's not like the most efficient use of your time.
And you resent it a bit.
Totally,
Like, after
I
a
hate it.
while, and you're just like, oh, it's just not
I hate
working.
it, but like it works. But
Yeah.
like you shouldn't be a founder and a TikTok expert like that. Just
Yeah, but
we
people
can't
want to
all be
hear from the
those.
founders, right?
Yeah,
We
do you have
love
an
a founder
expert telling
story.
you how to do
That
it?
story-
Yeah,
storytelling
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
This is
Yeah,
what you need to
storytelling.
say
Yeah,
and-
100%. But I think the recipe content.
You love
is
the recipe
great,
content,
yeah,
Yeah.
on TikTok and ASMR.
I've got a pet
food
peeve about that
stuff.
though.
We were talking
I
about
just
that.
have a pet peeve with TikTok on their recipe. Like I hate that it's in the comments or in the
Oh,
notes.
'cause it's just too long,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is
Yeah,
too
this is
long.
what my
Yeah.
husband whinges about all the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to get over it. But he will just go and send it to ChatGPT and say, write
Yeah.
the recipe out for me.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That's clever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Do
a good
that.
point.
And there's just a lot of like moving
It's just
parts.
like it's
Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
constantly. So I'm
I do
like,
like the
Yeah.
recipes on TikTok though. They're pretty
amazing.
good.
They're
Yeah.
amazing.
Because they're short and quick.
It's so hard
Exactly.
to do a
That's
good
good to-
recipe these days.
Yeah, so
That's what you
fingers
guys should do is
crossed for
collaborations
TikTok.
on
So
recipes.
is that because that was a question. What are you manifesting for All Dressed Up? Is TikTok one of them?
So
I guess.
I would
Yeah,
like
I've got
to.
ideas for you
We
now,
keep
thinking
talking as a
about it.
team of this viral moment.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to come. I
But
guess
everyone's looking for that
we-
viral moment.
When I very first started right at the beginning, when I was making them at home,
Yeah.
like the Christmas before last, I did manifest like our dream listing, and I was
Love it,
like,
manifesting.
"This is where we need to be," and that is now happening, which is
Nice.
Love it.
so
We've got to keep
exciting.
going for it. I love
So I think
manifestation.
Yeah.
we've got to have like
Yeah.
that's our like
Yeah.
golden ticket. So
Nice.
that is super exciting, and then after that, like I don't know, but I feel like
You
to
could
get
do
to
some
that
cool
point-
collabs with chefs.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Loads.
probably are connected in the obviously chef world anyway.
Ish. I was sort of in the private chefing world,
Yeah.
so it's not like I worked in loads of restaurants where like I'm best mates with Gordon Ramsay. But I feel like we're doing lots of recipe collabs with other
Yeah,
brands.
you
at
would
the
be doing
moment,
great
cool.
recipe
Nice.
collabs.
which is
That's
like
good.
which is really nice to kind of use their products and our
Yeah.
products, and I think it's quite organic, which is really
Yeah.
nice. But it would be great if if any chefs are out there
Nice.
who want to use them
For sure.
then
Boom,
that
yeah.
would be great.
Tell us how what's in the products because I'm like want to eat them all.
So we've got 4 flavors at the moment. They're all, well, I say they're all based on my mum's recipe. That's actually giving my mum more credit.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
They're my recipes.
Has Mum got the equity?
So the everyday house is based on her recipe. So growing up, we had salad dressing on literally everything.
Yeah.
And so that one is literally just like mustard, oil, vinegar.
Love
It's
mustard
very,
and
like,
oil.
It's very clean. It's very mustardy. It's very sharp. So like you
Yum.
want it with like a green salad, tomatoes,
I wanna
jacket
buy it.
potatoes, that kind of vibe.
Definitely
it cuts
selling it.
through. And
How
then
long does it last for, by the way?
so they are 12 months, but
Well,
when
decent.
you open them, we say use them within 4 weeks, just
Yeah.
to keep
Okay.
them like fresh.
Yeah.
They would actually be fine, but it's like best practice. And then the other 3 are a bit more unusual. So the miso and sesame is our bestseller.
I bet. I want
Sounds
that
so
one the
good,
most.
though. Yeah, me
That
too.
one has like a bit
Me
of a
too.
cult following. Like if we're in Whole Foods and
People
we're
love
doing
miso.
Yeah.
a sampling, I had one girl who came in the other day and she was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're here." She was like, "I drink 8 bottles of this stuff," and I literally, I
Whoa.
think she was like,
You're like, is she healthy? Is she okay?
16 maybe? But I was like,
She's
if
16.
if you were a bit older, I would definitely be like,
Yeah.
"Please, can you come and work
She's
for me?"
16. That's
She
impressive.
she was young. But
she's
we
doing
get,
dressing. I love that
we
for
get
her.
lots of people who love that one, and then that's great on like noodles and stuff.
Yeah, is it on noodles?
Yeah,
Do people
sounds so
marinate it
good.
on the
Yeah.
salmon or no?
Yeah, you can do that. The
Love it.
tahini and lime is probably my favourite at the moment.
Oh, yes, that-
because it's
that
so hot,
sounds so good.
and so
I need
that's
to get
good on
all of
like
these from you. I wanna eat them.
grains
On
and
salad,
salmon
yeah.
or jack potatoes or roast chicken or whatever it is.
Yum,
and
yum,
then
yum.
the spicy harissa is quite hot if you
Yeah.
like that kind of heat
Love it.
profile, but it's good with
With
like
chicken and stuff.
chorizo,
Oh.
feta, like to put as a base
Harissa,
of
love it.
shakshuka.
Yeah.
I could tell you like
do
that.
like
Yeah.
harissa. Yeah.
Guys, it's harissa. It's
Oh, is
not
it harissa?
Is it
Harissa.
Harissa.
Yeah.
harissa?
You
Yeah.
two.
Would you ever
my
white
accent.
label?
No, which
So if
Jack,
someone-
what a question.
So if someone came to you with a massive order and said you can't have all dressed up on there,
It's like wine,
Yeah.
isn't it?
you just wouldn't do it.
I think at the moment we're so
robbing you, isn't
brand
it?
focused.
Yeah.
We live
Yeah.
and breathe all dressed up,
Stick
and it
with
would
it.
feel like weird to
Yeah.
kind of just. I mean, I get it from like a cash perspective, but I feel like we are like all dressed up till
Yeah.
we die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
The design's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
just sort of is working, and
Yeah.
if we can get the brand out there and stay
Yeah.
like focused, I think it would be a massive distraction at this point.
Where are
What?
you,
Okay, sorry.
where are you growing the most? Like, because you're now on Ocado. lots of like independent like grocers.
Yeah.
And where are you seeing the most growth? When you go with the bigger ones or like?
We're seeing growth. Probably our two biggest channels are Ocado, which has worked really well. I think if we look at the Ocado data, it's really exciting because if you like data,
Love it.
We do.
because there's like there was a massive spike when we launched to sort of that New Year period again. It's really good for us. 'Cause people are like New Year, new me.
Healthy.
And
Healthy for 30
And I
seconds.
think it just showed that there weren't that many options out there which looked great and tasted
So much like that in
great.
the UK.
Sounds so
And-
tasty.
And so I think people were like, oh, this is cool, this is exciting.
Yeah.
So that channel's working really well for us. Then the farm shop deli space, we've like really honed in on this
Cool.
year.
Nice.
So like our biggest wholesaler, that's our biggest channel. Because we're now like distribution across the UK in farm shops and delis. So they're like our
Cool.
two biggest ones.
Yeah.
How do you go with the vault? Sorry, I've got so many interesting questions on
Yeah.
this. How do you go with, there's such a big role that you have to reach out to people manually. So was that you constantly? Did you have a target each week of how you had to reach out to wholesalers and stuff?
Oh, that's a good question. Like
Yeah,
that.
so I'm a
Do you
bit
give
of a
yourself a
list.
target?
I'm a list maker.
Yeah, we
I
like
have
lists
like
as well.
a lot of lists because I like to be able to be like tick, tick.
Yeah.
So I had lists at the beginning of places where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I would send like very short emails because I think when I receive emails, I don't really read them unless they're like that
I love
short.
that from
I think
you, 'cause
most
a lot of
people
you
are
need
like
short
that.
emails,
I just
don't
want
you,
to
with
be
the
able
value.
to give me the top
Yeah.
line.
Correct.
And so I'm very impatient.
Nice.
So I would send
I
an
would not have seen
image
that from you.
of the brand, and then I would send a like 3-sentence email, basically being like, "This is what we're doing," and that seemed to work quite well. But then we worked with wholesalers because I think the margin's not as good, but it means we can get the word out there, and they've essentially got a sales team, and we obviously have only got like 3 people, so we can't be going out to like every single deli and farm shop. We just don't have the time or resource. So I made the decision really early on that we would go through wholesale channels, and then they have dedicated sales teams to do that for you.
Yep.
So we did that, and then something really stuck with me at the beginning, which was like, hustle, don't hassle. And
that's a good
we always love
phrase.
stealing
We
a
love
phrase.
phrases.
I think that's
yeah.
a really nice one because I think you've really got to hustle. But people get
hustle.
pissed off quite quickly. So I think you've got to like
It's like
know
a
your
relationship
limit.
though, isn't it?
It
Awkward
is.
when you like don't want to make that like texting someone too much.
But you want to be
Yeah.
like on the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
I
their
don't always
mind.
get it right. I'm definitely have fallen into the like hassler category. And sometimes I
nice.
like miss the ball and they're like, oh, sorry, I've gone with someone else now. But I think it's that like
So hard,
real
isn't it?
channel focus, like where do we want to be? How are we going to get there?
Cool.
Yeah.
So what was your target each week when you were saying you were doing it?
Of how many?
Yeah.
Um,
Jack and I
That's
such
a
like
good
numbers.
question. Yeah, you guys like the data.
We like the numbers.
I mean,
yeah.
because we're always like, were people doing like 50 of like a month, or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you like? I just want to go for the value top 3. Like people say,
Yeah.
they're like looking for their favorite brands.
Yeah,
you know.
I knew I wanted Whole Foods. That was
Yeah.
like a real like, you know, that is our
That seems like a
star
really
line.
good
Goal
match.
set- yeah,
and that was
is
a really
totally
good
good,
early
yeah.
one because
And
I
also
think
what
that
people care about a
unlocked-
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and people are just like, oh wow, I saw you in Whole Foods, like that's
Yeah.
awesome. And then that unlocked Ocado.
Right.
So, but I
Oh,
think
that's
I was
good.
looking at, I was more looking at. I was looking at the money. I was looking at the revenue
money.
Yeah.
rather than almost like the distribution at the beginning. And as
Yeah.
long as it was going in the right line, I was like, okay, we're on to something good. So I think that was quite a good start to kind of be like, as long as we're going up, not down, then things are looking good.
What about? Sorry, I was going to ask because what about e-commerce sites? Because are you?
Gotta
I'm
get a
sure I've
question,
seen you on. Huh?
So Jack's got to get a question in. Keep going. Sorry.
Keep going, keep
I know
going.
he keeps trying.
No, but like pure
First come, first
e-com
serve.
because I'm sure I saw you on. Is it deli.com?
Yes.
Yeah,
There
so
it is.
that
She's
is a
figured it out.
great. Yeah,
That's a
that
great
is a
website.
great
Yeah,
website.
Yeah.
amazing platform.
Is that UK
Yeah.
owned?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they were set up by the guys who
What is that?
ran
I'll look
Depop.
It looks really
Yeah,
good.
oh, they
And-
ran Depop.
Yeah, so
Oh,
they're
wow.
ex-Depop
Clever.
founders, and they sold Depop, I think. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure this is right. And then they set up Deli, so it's like the new
clever.
like place for food
Yeah.
and drink
Yeah.
brands. It's an amazing
They've got
place
great
to
brands.
test.
How do I not
on
know
there.
it?
It's so good.
Cool.
You would like it.
There's
So
got
good,
like
yeah.
so many cool stuff on there, and I think it's a great place for startups to like test and learn and like prove a concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, like amazing olive oils and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
spirits, and yeah, they're
Cool.
amazing at kind
Is
of
it like an Ocado
advertising.
where you can
No,
deliver
it's
it?
like it is a delivery.
So I mean, it's like a grocery delivery. It's not
yeah,
like a Ocado,
exactly.
but you can
Yeah.
get it delivered ASAP.
yeah, you get it delivered. I think tomorrow. if you
cool.
wanted to.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was thinking more like
spend
food
that
and
money
bev
though,
kind
don't
of
you?
marketplaces. Not necessarily. I know Ocado's online, but
Yeah.
it's
What
e-commerce.
about Amazon?
But
Amazon? Do you sell on Amazon?
We don't actually,
Yeah.
and that's purely just because I
Interesting.
think we do quite a lot of paid ads, but then we want people to go to the website.
Yeah.
We don't want people
Okay.
to go to Amazon.
What proportion?
yes.
proportion is the
See,
website.
we're all trying to get it out.
Coming from the website to
of,
your-
like, total revenue is about 15%.
Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
good for growing.
So
Yeah,
we sort of see it as like brand awareness, like
Yeah.
better than
almost-
some people I work with, so that's good.
So
just
yeah,
gotta
it's
keep
working.
going.
It's working well. It's just like how to make it grow, which is kind of
Yeah,
how do
'cause
you
logistics
also
would be hard.
Yeah, how do you manage the logistics?
we outsource that. So
Okay.
outsource now the production and then also the fulfillment. So
Okay,
that
cool.
makes life a bit easier. To
Yeah,
kind of-
wow.
Yeah,
Were
'cause I
you
was gonna
doing
say,
it?
That'd be a lot.
Like, where was the production originally, and then you
And the
moved to?
production originally was just in our flat in London. And
Yeah,
so it's been
everyone
like,
with grit's got.
I would
people
be
do
in
it in
the
the
post
flat.
office
Yeah.
like
Oh,
every
that's
day on my
crazy.
lunch break, and they'd be like, "Oh, she's back again. What's in the package?" And then at the beginning, like quite early on, I was like, "I'm just going to outsource this," because someone said to me at the beginning, "You're either really good at like sales and marketing, or you're
Yes.
really good at ops and supply chain."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I definitely am not
that's
good at
true.
ops and supply chain, so let's fall into the sales and marketing." And she was like, "And then outsource what you're not good at."
Nice.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of.
How did you get
advice.
approved the product while you're doing it in your apartment?
So you apply for like an EHO,
Yeah.
and that's like someone who comes to your house and checks it's all friendly.
okay.
But they're quite lax in terms of
Classic
like
UK.
they are kind of like, oh,
Classic
we'll be
UK.
there in 8
Like
weeks.
sitting the 50 under the table.
So yeah, they
Here's a
Few
100.
bottles, take a few bottles home.
they were kind of like, oh, answer these questions. I think they want to know if like you've got dogs or
That's what I was
going
going to say. That
Yeah.
you haven't got
Which
dogs
was
Like
running
in this
around.
one
and
room,
stuff.
all these dogs and cats.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just like hair flying
And
everywhere. Yeah.
So they were like, "We'll come and check it out in like 8 weeks." But from what you say, it all looks good. And then I was
Wow,
like,
you can get food from someone's
yeah,
I think
so
that's
you can.
so
It's
good.
kind
Not in
of quite
Australia.
scary.
This
I
would not
guess it also
happen.
depends on the category.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends
And
what
then
it
I
is,
was
yeah.
like, right, we need to find a manufacturer.
Yeah.
So that gave me a kick up the arse to do that.
Wow, so there's not like certificates
really
and
cool.
things?
Well, I'm sure you would need a
like
certificate.
food hygiene, safety, yeah.
But at the beginning, because we were purely doing friends, family,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
farm
fair enough.
shops, you can do it from your kitchen. But
Wow.
yeah, most people you would definitely need certification. If
Yeah.
I was more than 8 weeks, I would have my certification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That is
So
super
we've covered all.
interesting.
So it's very natural, right? So tell us how it's natural, because people are obsessed with
Yeah, so
organic
I-
foods these days.
I feel like there's now a massive shift away from like ultra high processed foods.
Yes,
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's a lot of, talk about people wanting to understand the ingredients that go into a product, which
Yeah.
I completely live by. And so that was like the real ethos at the beginning. It's like, I want to look at this dressing, look at the back of pack and be like, I recognize all the ingredients. These are ingredients I can find in my
Yeah.
own kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's actually amazing if you go into supermarkets and you check the back of pack. And it's not something I did before setting up All Dressed Up, but now I'll check it. And
I'll check
you'll-
everything.
I do it with
You'll
everything.
be shocked by
in
how
I agree,
many
I need an
like,
extra 5 minutes to do
numbers,
it.
gums, emulsifiers, like
Yes.
a lot of water.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Glucose.
and so that
and
was
stuff.
kind of the main thing.
You need that USP out there for yours, because it's
Yeah.
such a natural thing. I'm
And
like,
so our
push that.
new like tagline is squeezing natural joy. And
Love
I
it.
feel
Like
like
that,
that's
yeah.
really
Cute.
nice because like as a brand, we really want to emphasize joy and like how we show
Yeah.
up and how we work
Yum.
as a team and what kind of recipes we put out. But it's really like the natural side of things is like our biggest USP against what's in the market. So yeah.
Pretty crazy that some brands can write natural and they're not natural.
I know.
And then you read
Yeah.
the back and you're
that
like,
true?
you're not allowed to.
yeah.
I mean, in Australia, there's restrictions, but here it seems like a lot of people write natural, and then I read it and it's got emulsifiers in it. And I'm like,
you're absolutely right. And also, I think
really
there's
naughty.
there's so much confusion in health and nutrition and
There is,
around
yeah.
what natural is.
Yeah.
But very much for us, it was like, how can we keep it two ingredients that people recognise
Yeah,
and
correct.
know with the best made. So that's kind of what we've stuck to.
yum. Our next thing is we need to try it.
We need to try it.
I
yeah,
will
there's-
send you some.
There's a couple on
We're
the
going to
list
Bailey
already.
Sage on Saturday.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
So we'll pick some up.
Tahini
But it,
and
it
lime.
shows it's in demand at the moment, because you're also
Yeah.
there. I love the fact that when you search on Google, it's like actually everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Well,
everywhere.
that's great. Thanks.
It's awesome.
That's working. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
any
it's
more
working.
questions from you guys?
Not from my side.
Because
No.
we're wrapping up our time.
No, I think I'm excited to try the product, and I
Same.
think even the branding, as you mentioned, in terms of like squeezing joy.
The
Squeezing
bottle's
joy.
amazing. I was saying that earlier. It's
It
so
mirrors
good.
that, I think.
Yeah,
So I think people love branding so much. The
Yeah,
fact that
so
I think
big.
founders are taking time to like do the branding, the customer research, which you said before,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is like making sure and tweaking it and like finding people who love the brand.
And I think we have been doing this brand evolution piece.
Yeah.
And it's that whole thing of like, do you trust an agency and an expert, or do you trust your team and the people who
yeah.
live and breathe the brand? And
Yeah.
there's like a conflict between the two.
Totally.
But actually, and I might completely be wrong on this, I've very much been like, let's go with the people who live and breathe the brand.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're the ones who like inherently get it.
I think it's
And so that's
agree.
kind of where we've ended up now in terms of brand.
So fair though.
Yeah.
It's not
Love that.
perfect, but like it's us.
Yeah.
But
So
it's-
18 months in, what are they saying about the brand at the moment? So what suggestions are they coming up with?
I think they think we just need
got
to be a
one more
lot more like
question? Oh, yeah, got one more
grown,
question, yeah.
grown up,
Yep.
a little more beautiful. And we're disruptive. We're trying to do something differently. We're like a bit clunky. We want to be fun. Like if we put something in a bottle that looked really aesthetically beautiful,
Yeah.
I don't think it actually stands for the
Correct.
message we're trying to give.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. Chunky, disruptive, still joyful.
Yeah, I like that because it is all about what it looks like on the shelf because there's
Exactly.
so much. It needs to just jump out at
Yeah.
you
Correct.
straight away, right?
Yeah.
That is such a big thing.
because
Like,
you think people are going to have like minutes in that aisle. Actually, the reality is not that many people
They
are in
don't.
that aisle.
Definitely
and
not
if
in
they are in
cities.
the aisle,
Yeah.
then like you want it to be like jump out,
Yeah.
smack in your
True.
face.
Yeah.
True.
yeah,
I'm excited for you.
Nice.
Cool.
Thank
can't wait to
you.
try it.
Anything else you want to share about the beautiful product?
Just like it's just been so exciting being on like this journey. It's never
Yeah.
ever something
Yeah.
I thought I would do.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd have the confidence to do it. And just I guess anyone who's listening or who's supported, like thank you because it's been amazing.
Oh, I love that.
You're going to go
Yeah.
so far.
Thank
We're excited
you.
to try
Love
it.
that.
Cool. Well, thanks.
Exciting.
Hit follow and share this on.